Hey everyone, Dan at Ochoco Bushcraft. Well, I'm out here with something that is brand new and an Ochoco Bushcraft custom request. So, if you watch my videos, you know that the 7x10 tarp is my absolute favorite size. Some people like square tarps, some people like rectangle, just like some like Chevy and some like Ford. It's a personal preference thing. But the 7x10 or 10x7 has always been my favorite. And in the spring and the summer and the fall, I like to use one from Bushcraft Outfitters. It's made of a camouflage OCP pattern, fire retardant, because in the spring and fall, it gets cold at night and I can have fires close to it and not worry about embers from the flames burning holes in the tarp. In the past, I've always used or also have used AquaQuest 10x7 tarps, and I like those a lot too, but keep them away from the flames. In the wintertime, I like to change though. My thing for winter is I like to go kind of more traditional. So I'll get rid of my lighter weight sleeping gear and go for good old heavy old-fashioned wool blankets that I can use right next to the fire. I will put my lighter weight tarps away for the winter, and I will use an old school oilcloth tarp. And again, clothing, lighter clothing like I'm wearing today, cotton and things, gets put away for heavier layers of wool. That's just me for wintertime. I really enjoy using the different gear during the winter. Well, I've always used a square oilcloth tarp because there wasn't any rectangular ones until last year when Tentsmiths started doing a 6x8 through the Pathfinder school. So I went to Tentsmiths and I said, hey, would you guys consider making me a 10x7, excuse me, a 10x7 oilcloth tarp to my specs and making it available to my customers? So we're going to check this out. This is the very first ever Tentsmith 10x7 oilcloth tarp that they made for me. You won't find it on their website, but they assured me that if you want one, just call them up and say, hey, I want one of those 10x7 oilcloth tarps like you made for Ochoco Bushcraft, and they can make one up for you. So it's their same heavy duty oilcloth canvas material they use on all their tarps. It has the tie outs reinforced all the way around, just like their other tarps. But again, we're talking a 10x7 rather than a square. So that's the short side. Here they are along the outside. And I had them do reinforced loop in the middle. So I can pull this back for extra lift, which oilcloth tarps, because of their weight, tend to sag in the middle, and that's advantageous. So it is, again, made to my specs, oilcloth, 10x7, right around $300, a little over $300. They're not cheap, but they're awesome. Also, 2 more loops along the top here. So if you wanted to, for example, hang this from a ridge line like so. So we're gonna set it up in my favorite winter configuration, and I'll show you guys why I like the 10x7 so much. So I've already got a ridge line here. What I'm gonna do is move you guys over a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna set this up. I'm gonna tie it off this ridge line right here. So this is my favorite setup for winter. Now I have the long side, the 10-foot side, running parallel between these two trees, and the short side, the 7-foot side, going from this ridge line down to the ground. I got way too much cord here, but this is what I carry in my pocket, so I'm just going to tie this off and go with it. There we go. That'll work right there. See? Yep. All right. Lower you guys down a little bit. Okay, I got my Grand Forest Brook hatchet, and I got some tent stakes. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back and I'm going to stake out the back corners, probably put another one in the back, and then the front corners, and set this up. It'll look kind of like a big pyramid. So I'll have total protection on 3 sides from the wind, the snow, the rain. Again, it's fire season now, but we're thinking winter time, and we'll set this up again in the winter, in the snow, a long fire in front of it. Only one side's open, and all the heat from that fire is going to go in and stay inside with me. And again, I'm protected, and I've got a steep roof from the snow that will be out here in the wintertime. So let's set this up, show you guys what it looks like. And again, this is my first time setting up this. I just got this. I'm out here in the woods with it for the first time, field testing it. But as you can tell, I'm a little bit excited because it's pretty cool to be able to call up Tentsmiths and say, this is my idea, and can you make it a reality, and to have them do that. So here we go. Cheap yellow tent stakes, but they work great. Pull this back. And the other side. Now we'll get the front, and I can adjust the front for a narrow doorway like it is right now. Basically, it's a tent. See, I got all that room inside there. And if I'm not going to have a fire, and I'm just going to try to use body heat, I can close the front up, tie those off, stake the front down, put my pack in front from the inside on this little opening at the bottom, and be semi-enclosed like so. But I like to open it up and put a long fire out in front. So I'm going to go ahead and pull my sides out. And one more on the other side. And there we go. Now I've got some options here. I'm good to go just like this, or I can set up 2 sticks behind it, cross them, take some cordage to that center loop, pull it back over the 2 sticks and stake it down to pull this back up if I need more room. I'm going to go pull the center back out and put 1 more stake in the middle. That'll give me a little more room. Okay, there we go. So roughly where you guys are sitting, you're about a step, maybe a little step and a half in front of this. I would build a fire that is almost as long as my entrance here, right in the front. And then the heat from that fire is going to travel inside, and it's going to get caught up in here inside this canvas and warm the canvas up and stay with me. And I'd probably be fairly close to the front, covered up in some wool blankets, my pad and some tree boughs underneath me, just catching the heat from the fire and the heat that's staying up inside here. And of course, again, we're talking being out in the heavy snow of winter. So I kick snow up around the sides. You can see a little space in the bottom and the back right now, but in the winter I kick snow up all around the outside, so it's completely insulated on the sides and back. Let me show you what kind of room I got in here. See, make sure. There we go. So I've got plenty of room to sit up in front of my fire. Let's assume it's snowing or it's warmed up and it's raining. My fire is right out here. I got all this room above my head to stay dry and to sit right here in front of the fire, to cook a meal, to do projects, to enjoy the view. Come bedtime, I got lots of room right here. Again, I like to sleep closer to the door if I got a fire out in front, so I catch the heat from the fire right on me, and then it's warming up in here. Have my backpack and things tucked up behind me, pad underneath me, wool blankets, fire in front. You know, it's not all the way obviously mountain man, but it's more traditional. I just like that in the winter. I like that traditional feel of oilcloth and wool. It's heavy, but in the winter I'm not doing a lot of walking usually, and if I am, you know what, I've got my camp set up already somewhere not too far from the vehicle, and so my wool, my heavy canvas, everything is set up, and then I've still got my pack and I can go out and explore. But usually when I'm out here in the heavy snow in the winter, I don't go for real long distances, and so the extra weight is no big deal. And again, I just enjoy that traditional feel. So there it is, guys, the very first ever Tentsmith oilcloth 10x7 tarp. If you are interested, just call them and say, hey, you guys made a custom 10x7 for Ochoco Bushcraft. I want one just like his. They're expecting that. They're expecting to hear from people, and that's one of the things I asked is, if you make this for me, will you make it available to any of my viewers that want one? They said absolutely. I like it. I like it a lot. And when winter comes and we can have fires again, because again it's fire season, when I put away the lighter weight tarps and start breaking out the wool and the oilcloth, I'm going to come out here and we'll set this all up again with a fire in front, make a little camp. We'll do it all on video. I'll try it out in a plow point, maybe some other configurations. But I wanted to just share, you've seen how quick and easy it is to set this up. And it gives you a couple options, because if for some reason you don't want a fire, you can take these stakes on the front out and bring your flap in, tie these up, use your pack inside, and just kind of block off the doorway and curl up inside there, and have a little bit more body warmth than if the front was open. But this is just perfect setup to use with the fire out in front. So thanks guys for watching Ochoco Bushcraft, and thanks Tentsmith for making this idea reality for me. Take care everyone.